They say life cannot be black and white. We say, why not? Have it black and white, add a dash of color, and you have a beautiful home that you're going to enjoy for your family for the longest time. Hi, I'm Amita Trehan from BravuraSpaces, and let me take you to another home that I've recently handed over. Welcome to a home which is actually part of a condominium complex, therefore many houses on the same format, but we've made it look very, very different. Welcome. To start with, one thing that all of us struggle with is the MCB panel, which is always invariably part of the entry foyer because that's actually what makes sense. Okay, so we have this wall where the entry foyer is. Tell me, where is the MCB panel and the internet nest? To keep it short and to keep guessing, this is where we have the MCB panel and the nest is very nicely tucked away in this area. The way it is designed, all these 4 panels of mirror on the face of it look identical, but that is how we created that symmetry. To add the drama here is where we took in the color red. Just a very sleek console, just good enough for a plant, and that is how this entire space has been handled. Very different from most homes that I have done. They wanted a television in the main living room, which is something that I haven't done, but they were very clear that's how they wanted it, but so be it. So this entire space has been is crafted around the television being the focal point, and that is where it comes in. The seating obviously happens, and the dining area, which then overlooks the rest of the house. It is very different from other homes that I have done because I love color. And they were very clear that they wanted it monochrome because that was part of their, maybe the vision that they had for the home. So be it, and that is how this entire place was there. Everything is in a very neutral shade, but I got my way across and I added some blobs of color here and there to create the drama. And that color happened in this beautiful crockery unit. I think it's very subdued in the sense that yes, it does have a bright color, but doesn't really scream for attention. And to our luck, we actually found a center table which resonated that same color, which is the way I always feel that homes come together beautifully. And somehow when we are creating spaces and collecting entire things that are there, somehow or the other things start coming together. Even if we have not planned it, and that is how this table and that cabinet has actually come together as if they were made for each other. Yes. The family also had a very clear vision that when we were doing the 3Ds, it was that they don't wish to have too many paintings and artwork, and the walls just need to be, we don't need to have them filled with things. So it was very clear that we are going to create maybe few key pieces, and that is what is going to create that entire, almost like a sutradhar, that goes across this entire home with those very key pieces. We were lucky enough to find this painting, very abstract and beautifully blended with our color scheme. Painting had this, like this happy spiral going through, and by chance, we also found another 3D sculpture which we have placed there, which is also like a playful ribbon sculpture that has made in metal. So I think, and the way I look at this entire journey of us finding artifacts and things together, is that they've all come together. They were as a thought, as a thought of playfulness, a thought of comfort, is what has completely come through very, very nicely over here. The seating here is very different in the manner that there are 2 different sofas, and they're both look very different, but yet when you look at them, they look fairly together, they're very fairly in sync. So this is a regular sofa that is there. This one is actually a recliner, moves back, so when the family is watching television, their viewing time, their time to chill and relax needs to be absolutely comfortable. This entire panel has been done in a certain material which I thought was very unique, because it had the fluted panel and the plain panel in the same finish, and I was very excited to use this particular material. The details of this is in the description. So this entire space with the backlit panel and fluting, very skillfully we have created that there's not much of fluting, because that as an element is so much which is being seen. So though we enjoy that aspect of the flute, but we really didn't want to overuse it anywhere else. So this entire place comes across with that. It's a mammoth wall, but this entire surface, the entire finish has been taken across, including on this little panel. We created it like a partition. So, and it's also a great spot where as you collect things, and as we make homes and as we collect things, lots of things can keep coming. They can really talk about your own journey, and it's a beautiful place. We have catered for the family and the home to grow. So that is how this entire panel came up. Something that we really created and wanted to use is this fireplace, and I think come winter, it'll look rather silly if I switch it on right now, but come winter it is going to have a very nice impact. Will create a lot of ambience in this place, including the light that it emits. This hanging panel again in the same finish, and my surprise of all, everybody knows my love for shoe racks, and I possibly put them in the most unexpected places. So hello to my shoe rack. This piece is something that I was so excited about. It's come out exactly the way I had envisaged, with this entire paneling which is the same finish, push to open shutters, absolutely handleless, and all of them are shoe spaces with a little niche in that red color, which is my favorite, and it's something that we've taken around here. And this is how this entire shoe rack has come up. So this place came up with a very well equipped kitchen, which we didn't want to obviously touch, but definitely since it was an open kitchen, and I feel, the practical person in me feels that it's very difficult to manage, specifically in our kind of cooking, as also our kind of weather, and the ACs, when we're entertaining, the ACs become very, very inefficient. So we added this slim profile shutters with fluted glass, and the whole place kind of gets connected when we wish to, and it gets tucked away very easily when you're not using the place. The large crockery unit, obviously, I think any amount of storage that we can give is always welcome. Moving around to this place, this is the family lounge, so to speak, or the mandir of the home. A very comfortable place, and of course a desk, because both husband and wife work out of home, so there is a very convenient desk neatly placed, and this overlooks the east, so it was a perfect spot for the family mandir. This is the parents' bedroom. I think it's such a joy when your family knows that they are catered for. Even if they don't stay with you all the time, you have your entire place around the fact that your family is going to be with you soon, and they are kind of, it's always set for them to come anytime they wish to be here. Very, again, going with the fact that they didn't want any artwork here, very minimalistic home. We just looked at a little bit of fluting to kind of texture, like almost like applique work on the walls, a little wainscoting, neutral colors. But what was nice about this place was this lovely window. So we created this bay sitting kind of a place where one is overlooking the view outside, and it's quite lovely. Some amount of storage that was there, and it's a comfortable room for the family, for the extended family to know they're waited for. As always, of course, functionality is so important. So there is this stone top chest of drawer, perfect for somebody to open up their suitcase. There is so much more storage, a wardrobe that was added, and it just makes your the entire bedroom, and for somebody living here, so much more nicer. This room was another first for me. This young bacha wanted a black wall, and my God, how much I resisted, because I know it is the fashion. Everybody wants that goth black wall, but I really tried my best to make sure that we don't do a black wall, and the whole thing that why should he wake up looking at a black wall. But eventually when we picked the color that he really liked, we realized that it was looking actually very nice. So we had created these little shelves with lighting to create an interesting backdrop, and a wall which actually looks nice. I just gave it brick tiling and we painted this entire wall. A very nice study table which has all his needs. And the big thing that we did, because my clients here had a very clear idea that they don't want any wires showing, so we've actually had this little detail that we have across the entire house, where we have these cutouts and all the switch plates are inside, the plugs are inside, the wires are inside, and once we are done, it goes back and the entire counter is absolutely clean. Even if you're charging your phone, all it needs is a wire that comes out, your phone gets charged and it goes in, and the entire counter is clear. And we have this detail right across the house, everywhere, including the side tables. So we did lose out on a little depth of the side table of the first drawer, but I think the detail is immaculate. This entire, he's a very sporty bacha, so obviously some indication of sports is, we created that into the headboard, and that is how this entire room looks, with all his needs are met. The toys, the board games, everything is there. This is the detail that we have for all the side tables with the plug points inside, the football ball alike kind of headboard detail, and this is definitely a room that the bacha is really enjoying. True to the entire concept of the house, the master bedroom also is absolutely soothing and calming in its entire vibe, the way it is laid out. The only little thing that I did, we couldn't do much with the false ceiling because that was already given by the builder. So what we really created was this beautiful wall finish that is Classico Antico from Asian Paints. We created this panel, gave it a cove at the bottom. So what it is doing is trying to create layering of lighting. So whatever we couldn't achieve in the with the false ceiling, we try to incorporate that into the vertical surfaces, and that is what we had here with the beautiful light fitting, the LCD unit with its hidden lighting and wire management system, and that is actually the vibe of this bedroom. The home office is a mandatory part of everybody's home today, and this home was no different, and this is how we created the fourth bedroom, which is not going to be used on a daily basis as the guest room come the home office. And I love multifunctional furniture, multifunctional rooms, because I think it just allows us so much more opportunities, so much more to do in our own home, and that is how this entire room came up. So this is a sofa cum bed. This actually gets pulled out, and some nice sofas, little wainscoting at the backdrop with some wallpaper. The most important, the most enjoyable part of this room was us ideating as to what the backdrop of the office is going to be, because if my client was on the Zoom call, and obviously the backdrops are seen, and we wanted it to be very impactful, and possibly this was the last thing that got finalized in this house, because we kept going through multiple options and things, and we did this deep dive into the personality and what actually resonated and what really would be his backdrop. And after a lot of ado, what we really came up with, because he's heavily into sports, and I think what sports gives you is not to, once you're not playing sports very actively, I think there are certain principles of sports and sportsmen which kind of resonated with him and were pretty much the guiding light for him, and that is what we've done. So these were some people that he kind of, their words and this, something that they had said were pretty much like quotes, and they resonated with him and something that he really enjoyed. So that's how we've created this entire backdrop. So when he's at the table, and this is what is being seen in the background, and these famous personalities and their amazing words, and that was a great backdrop of him. It kind of spoke about him as a person, and that is what we actually came with. And believe you me, this was one of the most enjoyable process of design for me as a designer. And irrespective, other than the fact that I think we were very worried, will we have anything in the backdrop? Will we have to kind of come back to it later? But we did, and it came together just in time as the entire house came together. So this entire study table, we have some document storage, that's something that we've given, some books that are there, and that amazing detail of hiding wires and cables, a bright color, and I think it's a room that you could be at work if you have some office colleagues who've come over. This could be a place, it's all the space that is empty. It could be a place where you want to possibly exercise, yoga, Surya Namaskar, whatever. But yes, this is a place which is, it didn't get stuck because we pushed in another bed, a bed that was never going to get used at least for maybe 300 odd days in a year. So that's how we actually make sure that all our spaces are beautifully utilized, and one can enjoy that every day of their living time. The entire living experience in that home needs to be top-notch. These homes had the most amazing balcony, and we really didn't need to do very much. Of course, we did use a turf. The furniture is from a beautiful place on MG Road, and all that we really added was this CNC cut panel, and just 2 panels, and we've given up some lighting. So overall, I think it just creates layering, it creates some amount of lighting, and a whole thing that even if we're not going to switch on a lot of lights, but just a little ambient light, and there's such a beautiful skyline of the city here that it is going to give us just the right amount of light that we need, and for us to sit and enjoy. And Delhi is, the whole of North is now coming to a very beautiful time of the year. So I know the family is really going to enjoy being out in this balcony and enjoying the sun to its fullest. If you stayed this far, thank you. If you've liked this video, subscribe and do hit the bell notification so you know every time a new video is dropped. Looking forward to seeing you around as we take you to more Bravura spaces, one at a time.